What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Food Fitness Family Podcast. It's your boy, Big Daddy Blankenship, with the ever so gorgeous Marcus Gates. How are you, man?
I'm sleepy, man. We wake up
Dude,
early to
I am
provide you
struggle busting
guys with the
today.
fire.
Yes, yes. For those who don't know, all the time, I think we normally get up at like 5:45 to do this. And
Yes,
both of
sir.
our wives complain that we wake up so early. Why you wake up so early to do that? Why? And because if we don't, you complain that we're home working late.
Yeah, we're
That's
not
why.
we're not hanging out with you at 5:45 in the AM. I think
Yeah,
Nicole's only gotten up at that time for a flight before.
yeah. Touchdown has woken up like that, like to vomit.
There you go. Perfect. Funny. Oh man. No, man. What is it? Friday. Last 7 days been
Oh,
really
it is
solid.
Friday.
Been bombarded. That's a bad word, but I mean that in a good way with a lot of new clients this week. So that's been great. A lot of my current clients. I love when I have weeks where a majority of people are just absolutely thriving because sometimes it feels like it rains. It feels like it pours and when it rains, obviously, and rains and pours, whatever. You know the phrase I'm talking about.
And when it sprinkles, it rains.
Exactly that one. So some weeks can be mentally tiring and exhausting, kind of dealing with that. But I mean, really, here recently, it's been a lot of great check-ins, so that's always motivating and fun to look forward to. It's Good Friday, so I got today off of teaching. So then, yeah, a little extra long weekend for myself. We took I took Tuesday and Wednesday off. We went up to Lawrence for a dinner and a concert. And then Wednesday, I went to a networking group up in the Northland, which was a really good experience.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's up, dude.
How about yourself, dude?
Man, my week's been pretty good. Had a lot of good check-ins Monday. I feel like this week kind of drug by, but it was a good week. I had a lot of work this week. Like Sunday, bro, I did my taxes for 13 hours.
Oh
I
my
went
God.
through probably over 700 credit card transactions that I entered manually just to find out the next day that I could put my credit card on QuickBooks and it would do
Oh
everything.
yeah. Oh
Like I
my
knew,
God, you did
like
that manually?
yeah, like
Dude.
I knew I could put my bank account on there, and I had my bank account linked, but like I don't use my bank account. I use my credit card for everything to get the points.
Of
You know what I
course,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed.
Oh
And then
my
Monday and Tuesday,
God.
bro, I was on my computer until like 11 o'clock at night every night.
That's fun.
But they were good days. I think I signed two new clients this week. Um, but it was like at the very beginning of the week, so like I feel slow now. I don't know
Yeah, I,
why.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but no, we had a good manager meeting. We got some good stuff done this week. I'm kind of a nerd now. I'm reading two books.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're reading Extreme
Dude, get
Ownership.
a life, you dork.
I know. You know what? A jack nerd is fucking unstoppable.
That's true.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Um, but I gotta get. I'm not jack though, so I don't know. We'll see.
Nah, you are.
Uh, yeah, I'm reading Extreme Ownership with our management team,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. And then I'm reading a book called Vivid Vision that Chad actually gave to me. Chad was a guest on our podcast a couple weeks ago, or yeah, about a
Yeah.
month ago.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I think if I would have read it a couple years ago, it wouldn't have done much for me. But where the businesses are at, I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write one once I'm finished with the book. I'll let you borrow it. I think you'll
You're
really
gonna write a
well.
book?
No, no, no. After I finish the book, I'm gonna write one. So Vivid Vision is about writing down your vision for your
Oh.
business.
Oh. I was like,
So
damn.
so the point of it being is that like if you had a vision board
Okay.
and you showed 10 people your vision board, they would all 10 of your employees your vision board, they would all interpret it differently. But
Oh.
if you wrote a vivid vision where it's basically you're turning like your visualizations into a written word,
Uh-huh.
then they know exactly what
Oh, okay.
you're envisioning and they know exactly where the business is headed.
Yeah, I like that.
Um, and then you almost like end up writing like a news article about yourself at the
Yeah.
end as well. So I'm really digging it. I've actually read 50 pages in 2 days, which is pretty insane for
That's
me. That's
solid.
probably
Must be a
more
lot
than
of
I,
pictures.
yeah, that's it. Fuck you.
Just a
That's
shit
more
ton
than
of
I,
visions on
yeah,
there.
that's actually more than I've probably read in like the last 2 years.
Dude, that's solid, yeah.
Um, Yes, I'm enjoying it. And then today is Friday. I will be out at the gym at least I'm all weekend installing flooring. So I have a marketing meeting, 30 minutes because this is gonna be short and sweet. And then yeah, man. So that we're rolling out that marketing thing for the trainers this weekend. So
Yep.
hopefully that starts to pick up.
I know we're all excited.
The gym hit a new high this
Oh
past
yeah.
month. I hit a new high.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, man. So I guess things are just fucking going, man.
They're just
Um,
going, dude. And yeah, and then we're what, like a month plus away from like us being able to go out there and train. When's
yeah,
the yeah, okay.
yeah. Because we'll have to figure out next week. Because maybe next week could be a time that we could try to get Tyler on. Because I'll actually be in Arkansas next week getting equipment.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Oh yeah, that would actually work then. That'd be good.
So we'll
Yeah,
try
let's
to
do
figure
that.
something out.
Cool, cool. All right. Well, today we are talking about pre-workout.
And why it is awesome, why you guys overuse it,
Mm-hmm.
don't use it enough,
Why cocaine does not count as
why
pre-workout.
cocaine is not it, why energy drinks are not it,
Mm-hmm. All
you
that good
know.
stuff.
So yeah, I'll just kind of dive in here. So, pre-workout, we kind of want to have a nice concoction. So hopefully you've done your pre-workout due diligence by having a nice meal. One of my favorite meals are potatoes, chicken, coconut oil, and like pineapple. I don't know
Mhm.
why. I just love that. I love the potatoes pre-workout because of the potassium.
Oh, okay.
What were you gonna ask?
Potatoes and pineapple together. Is that more for the benefits given you or the taste combination?
Um, I don't eat them together.
All right.
I hot pineapple disgusts me. I think it's revolting. I
Okay, I
like
got you.
pineapple on its own, so it's like a
Yeah.
dessert.
Yeah.
I like the pineapple for the digestive benefits.
Hmm.
I think it's delicious.
Hmm.
And will you shut up?
God,
Dog's
freaking
fucking
Max.
hacking in the corner. No, my dog's like hacking over here in the corner, like Jesus.
No, I just love the picture Max in the corner and you just yell at him.
Uh,
You have to watch me record.
shut up. Um, yeah, and then or like I like oats and like nut butters with a protein powder.
Yep.
I like something that maybe will digest a touch slower, but something that you can eat and that you're going to digest well,
Hmm.
because we don't want you to go in to the workout
Hmm.
full. We want
Yeah.
you to be somewhat on a lighter stomach so you're
Yeah.
feeling better.
Yep.
So when it comes to actually pre-workouts, I'm a big non-stim guy.
Yep.
I'm not a I if I'm gonna have a stim, it's like a cup of coffee,
Hmm.
and then I'll have my pump. The reason is because like pre-workout, it should be all about vasodilation
Hmm.
because we're trying to increase blood flow as best as possible when caffeine vasoconstricts. So when you're seeing these pre-workouts like 4, 5, 600 milligrams of caffeine, or yeah, you're getting a good workout, but like, is as good as it could be? And are you just feeling like that because it's loaded with caffeine?
Hmm.
You know,
And on top
um,
of that, I feel like anybody who I know who takes a stimulant workout like that, I mean pre-workout with 3, 4, 500 milligrams caffeine, they're also somebody who's drinking energy drinks throughout the day
energy
or
drinks throughout the
coffees throughout the
day, and
day. And
yeah,
now their caffeine intake is well over 1,000, which is
1,000, yeah,
I would die if I had 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day.
dude. And
I
then
don't
they're
know how
having
people do
issues.
it daily.
Yeah, they're having issues sleeping and
Yeah.
things like that. So
And
it's
then they
like,
feel like they need the pre-workout more because they
yep,
got shit sleep, and it's just this vicious cycle.
yeah. I feel like we all go through it though. Like
We do.
especially when we're younger,
Oh
like the
yeah.
high schoolers, like they want that fucking like
They
they
have the
treat pre
energy, but they want to feel
yes,
crazy.
they
Yeah.
treat pre-workout
Mhm.
like crack. You know what I mean? It's like they can't work out without it. And
Yep.
like I'm not gonna lie, when I work out without pre-workout, I feel a little weird, but not because I need a stimulant, because I want
Yeah.
to like maximize what I'm doing.
Yep. Yep.
But like these kids want like 4, 5, 600 milligrams of caffeine, and
Mhm.
they just want to feel like it's working when really they're just feeling the giant caffeine burst.
Yep.
It's not really doing a lot for them. So it's like
I feel
you're
like the most that extra caffeine is doing is that it's going to keep you in the gym longer because you're not going to
yeah,
get as fatigued just because you have more energy with it, and so
yeah,
you feel like you can do a lot more sets. But I feel like that's also a compounding negative effect because now you've got cats in there overtraining because they're taking pre-workout daily, they're doing daily workouts at that age, and they're in there for 2+ hours. doing everything under the sun when it comes to, hey, if I'm doing chest today, I'm doing every chest exercise I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Which
those
is what I
crazy cats.
that's what I did. That's what I did from 16 to 21 or so.
Hey, but
Uh,
your chest is pretty good. I mean,
hey, there
so I
I
mean,
I
there
bet
may be some science to it.
I bet if I would have taken more, if I would have
You
prioritized
should have done
more
that on leg
rest,
day.
get the fuck out. If I would have prioritized rest and not have probably overtrained like I did for so many years, I feel like I would be um, better developed than what I am for sure.
I mean, honestly, speaking of overtraining, I'll go off on a small tangent here. I have a client who gained 2 pounds last week. She was having a freaking meltdown, so I just had to talk to her, and I was like, well, she's not on like 100% of a plan because we're working through some things, and I was like, are you doing this again? Are you doing this again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're doing way too much. You're trying to burn way too many calories.
Uh,
You gain weight. So I pulled her back and I was like, do this, this, and this. And then she just texted me and she's down like 4 pounds and we're in an all new weight bracket. I'm like, huh, look at that.
yeah, did less
Crazy.
and more progress.
Crazy. Um, but yeah, no, pre-workout, some of my favorites are
Mhm.
honestly John Ott, who's local, Yep Strength. His stupid pump is honestly probably one of my favorites. I really enjoy it. I get a really good pump. I even took it backstage before I got on stage to help with my pump. I also like to mix my pre's with coconut water because then I get that nice potassium boost, and then I'll also throw sodium into my intra, so I get a nice electrolyte blend.
Yeah.
I like Hostile, Bloodshot, and Granite Subs has a really good one. That Vasoblast, it used to be
Mhm.
John Meadows' company before he passed. Now the team just runs it. But those are probably some of my favorites.
Yeah.
I have a stimulant one in my office for days that like
You have to have it. Yeah.
I just like I'm dying or
Mhm.
like, because there are some days for me where I'm on my laptop
Mhm.
like 6 straight hours and then I have to go train right away.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes I need that like boost because it's hard to swap from work mode
Yeah.
to training mode.
And
And for
that
those of
quickly
you,
flips that switch.
yeah, and a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about because they drive to the gym. And on days that I drive to the gym just to train, it's a completely different workout than it
Mhm.
is working and then going straight out, walking out of my office into
You
the gym.
you literally, yeah, you walk 2 steps and then boom,
Yeah.
it's workout time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big difference. So sometimes I'll even like shut my office door and lay down in the dark for like 20 minutes just
Mhm.
to like try to disconnect.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's good.
But like I don't know. What are some? I feel like I'm dominating this, so I'm sorry. So
No,
what are some of
no.
your favorites of things?
I'm happy you were because I over the years, so like I said before, when I was like 16 to early college, I utilized a lot of pre-workout. I feel like just supplements in general. I would like any income that I had was going straight to supplements,
Yeah,
which I enjoyed, and I think a lot of it was very beneficial with it. But I think a lot of it, like when it came to pre-workouts, I was just chasing what's going to give me that crazy, like cracked out feeling when I'm in the gym.
yeah, that's what we all wanted.
Yeah, exactly. So like I learned a lot. I feel like with me training as often as I did, as long as I did, I also learned a lot. I was able to do better in some ways, I think. And it was enjoyable. Like I had the time in my life to be able to do that. If I try to go train 2 hours, 7 days a week now, it would be impossible to do,
Good.
or I would get divorced. So yeah, so I did that a lot. So I took pretty much everything under the sun. So if you would ask me that back in that little 5 year span, I could have told you about every pre-workout on the market. But then it was actually funny in college when I got up to Northwest in Maryville, I was like, you know what? I am going to make my own pre-workout. So I went to like bulk supplements and got all the individual ingredients, citrulline malate, which if you've never had that, just like straight up, not already blended, like in
That's
a
sour as
mix.
shit.
Oh my God, it was the worst thing in the world. And so I started off, I was like, I'll mix, a scoop of Gatorade, like 20 grams of sugars with that, and then all these different pre-workout things. Made it absolutely miserable. And I was like, how the hell do you get just one little like tablespoon of pre-workout and a regular one? And this was like a half a cup of powders that were all going together. I don't know how they do it at the companies and stuff, but so it was miserable. It was awful. And I tried it with Gatorade, and then I tried it with coffee. I would mix it in with coffee, and the citrulline malate would
That
taste.
sounds even worse.
Dude, I felt like I was going to puke every time I drank it. And then so I was like, fuck it, I just spent $120 plus on all these individual ingredients that I'm never going to use again. So then I really at that point I just switched to coffee. It was more cost effective. It gave me the energy that I needed, to get up and kind of start the day with it. And it just kind of simplified things. And really, I've stuck a lot to just coffee for pre-workout for a long time. Actually, recently the Yep one that you just mentioned, what's it called, Super Pump?
John. Yeah,
Yeah.
super pump.
That was one of the first pre-workouts I've had in a while, and I'm almost out. I need to re-up on it because I loved it. It is non-stimulant, so really anytime I have taken pre-workout, probably the past 6 or 7 years, I've chosen to buy a non-stim pre. But yeah, so that's really the pre-workout that I do now is black light roast coffee, and then that Stupid Pump.
Yeah, you could throw some alpha GPC in with that, and it'd be a nice combo. That's what I like
Yeah.
to do with my coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean the reason they get so many powders in such a little thing is because like typically they're just cheaper products. So like
That's true
when you were
too.
buying the straight powders, it was probably a higher quality.
Yeah.
A lot of times these companies, man,
Yeah.
they turn around and I see it all the time. Like, oh, we got 6 grams of citrulline. Well, yeah, you do, but it's 6 grams of citrulline malate 2 to 1. So you're actually only getting 3 grams of citrulline.
Oh,
You're
okay.
not getting 6 grams of pure citrulline because like
Yeah.
that blood shot that I took, like that has 6 grams of pure citrulline
Yeah.
and some other stuff. And it's like it's 2 big scoops. Like it's almost like a protein scoop of
It's a
powder.
lot. Yeah, that's what I
It's a
was saying.
lot.
When I was mixing that shit together, I was like, this is awful. And so much
Yeah.
powder. That makes
Yep.
sense.
And then it's like one thing you really want to stay with. So you want to read the product. So like if you're confused, like, you can always get great pre-workouts at S2. And like, if you don't know like what you want, like just ask them and they can give you
Yeah.
pretty good direction. But like my rule of thumb is that like, if I don't know what I want, I just look for companies owned by bodybuilders. Cause if my company is owned by a bodybuilder, I'm probably gonna get a pretty good supplement. Cause
Yeah.
typically bodybuilders will make supplements that they want to take.
Yep.
So then I know it's going to be like a pretty good mix. And because they're all concerned about just getting blood flow in a pump.
Yep.
Also, I mean, if you have a blood pressure problem, like it's probably a pretty good idea to take a pump pre-workout maybe like once a day to help with
Oh yeah.
blood flow,
Yeah.
help with vasodilation, things like that. But some things to stay away from is when you turn around. If you ever turn around and honestly, to me, this is almost any supplement. If you see a proprietary
Mhm.
blend, just put it down and buy something else. The reason that is because a proprietary blend could be 3,000 milligrams or yeah, whatever it is. And then it's, I guess, has 10 different ingredients. And yeah, the one that they list first will have the most of it
Mhm.
in there, but it's like you don't know what you're getting. So,
Yeah.
like, I remember back in the day, there was, and it's still going. I'll just say it because I fucking hate it. That Psychotic by Insane Labs. It has like
Oh yeah.
a clown on it.
Hey, that shit gives you a lot of energy though. I think it's got like three
Dude,
or 400 milligrams caffeine.
that whole pre-workout is a proprietary
It,
blend. So it's
that's
probably majority
insane labs,
caffeine.
right?
Yeah,
Okay,
so
yeah.
it's probably a majority caffeine.
Yep.
And I remember my buddy took it and he was like cold and like had shivers. And I was like, you're a pussy. And I took it the next day and I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I felt like flu-like. Like I
Yeah.
literally went home. I couldn't even train. It was
I know what
the
you mean.
worst
Yeah.
pre-workout I've ever taken in my life. And to this day, the only person I know that even would like that are like 15-year-olds who just want to like be cracked
I was
out.
gonna
Like
say, so
it's awful.
that was one of the ones I actually enjoyed, but I never took a full scoop. I really with anything, if I see there's caffeine in it, I always just take in if I've never taken this supplement before anyway, I always take half a scoop anyway. But I am
I
pretty
always double
sensitive.
scoop it.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's why you're on
Yeah,
the
I'm
side.
crazy.
But yeah, no, there was that one. I think a long time ago, GAT made some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
Like pretty fucking intense ones. I think one of them what was the one they like discontinued? I think people were like dying from the shit.
Oh, the original Jack 3D.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't like it that much, but
bro,
the original No Explode, that was the shit.
that was good. I remember one of my buddies, and this was the first time I ever took pre-workout. I took it before like weight training in high school. Felt amazing. So I was like, all right, awesome. So like the next day we had a baseball game. I took it before the baseball game. Awful decision. I just felt way too wide. Yeah, only time I've ever done that before a baseball game. And it was Jack 3D too, so it was crazy.
Losing your fucking mind.
I was doing push-ups in the dugout. I was trying to fight the other team instead of just play baseball.
You're a psycho. You're like 3 feet tall.
That doesn't
You gonna
matter, dude. I
jump and punch him?
packed the energy. Yeah. It's hard to
So
punch a
good
moving
though.
target.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, are pre-workouts necessary? Absolutely not. Can they help
No,
for sure, but can they also take away from
take
what
it
you're
away.
trying to do? I
Definitely.
think so. Yeah,
I would say this though. So like you said at the very beginning, they're they're like a drug. And I mean caffeine is a drug and you get physically and mentally addicted to it. And that was kind of, me with pre-workout. I feel like that's a lot of people with pre-workout. It's
hmm
once you start the habit of taking it, it's really hard to not
And,
take it, especially if you're taking it with high dose of caffeine.
you know
Like
what's crazy is that like when you stop taking caffeine, it sucks for like a week or two,
this, you
but
feel
you
great.
actually have more energy.
Yep. Yep. And you're not
Like,
reliant upon caffeine because just again, just like any other drug, you develop a tolerance to it and then you need more and you need more and
yeah.
more. And it's wrecking all these other aspects of your life,
Mhm.
including your sleep and adrenals and everything else with it. So
Like even my coffee anymore, I drink it because I like the flavor. But
yeah,
I don't like the flavor decaf coffee. But like sometimes I actually feel more tired after I drink coffee than I do
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so understand that kind of going into it, so I always kind of, will caution people or like when clients say, hey, start to taking, pre-workout. Now, I will say the upside to it. If you are somebody who doesn't have the habit of going to the gym, maybe you're somebody who's just new at this stuff and you're not excited to get to the gym, you're tired after a long day, whatever that kind of looks like. I do think building the habit in at first until you really make it a habit of getting to the gym and being excited for the gym is maybe taking a non-stim pre-workout or maybe taking half a scoop of even a little bit of caffeine pre-workout just to get you in the mindset, give you that burst of energy, that burst of that feeling that you're going to have from that pre-workout to get yourself to the gym. And like if I the few times in life that I've like taken pre-workout and then not been able to work out for something, like what do you do with all the energy? So once you take that, or that even just that pump feeling, so once you take it, you're going to the gym. Like you have no choice. So like if you have a habit of getting in the car and then debating, do I go to the gym or do I go home? And you tend to choose home, maybe take a scoop of that so you can immediately get your ass to the gym.
Yeah. But just be, if you're training late at night, just be mindful,
Of
because
what anything you're taking,
because
really.
I want to say caffeine, if I remember right, has like a 3 hour half-life. So it's like if you take a pre-workout at
Yeah.
7 o'clock because you're training at 7:30 and
You're not coming down for a
it
while.
has 300 milligrams of caffeine, well, 10 o'clock, you still have 150 milligrams in your system.
Yep.
And then so it's like it's gonna take a while to get out. So it's like, especially like think about if you compounded that with an energy drink at 4 o'clock
Uh-huh.
and then you had a pre-workout at 7 o'clock, like, so then really why take time to take that pre-workout if you're, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to math and it's not working. It's just a lot of caffeine
Well,
in your
yeah,
system that's
yeah.
not coming out right away.
Yeah, no, exactly. You shouldn't have 150 milligrams or 200 or 250 in your system as you're going to bed. Like you're not gonna,
Yeah.
even if you physically can fall asleep, that's where I think a lot of people struggle is they say, well, I can function on 4 hours of sleep, or I can function on caffeine and go to sleep. Just because you can do it doesn't
I
mean
can
it's
function on one leg doesn't mean
exactly.
it's good for
Doesn't
me.
mean it's optimal. Doesn't mean it's good for you. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
that you're not creating a lot of negative effects. And I feel like that's with sleep so much. I have so many people that were like, oh, I thrive on 4 hours of sleep. I'm like, yeah, you get some shit done, but you're also going to die much sooner than me and anybody else
Yeah,
who actually
for
prioritize
sure.
sleep. So yeah, you're saving more hours in the day right now, but you're cutting off a lot of years off your life because of it, and you're not living optimally. So just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do something.
Oh man, I
All right, brother.
couldn't agree more.
I think we hit it though, but you kind of mentioned it, but Supplement Superstore, they're going to be great about walking you through it. Actually, since I was out of Yep and I haven't seen John for a while at the gym, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just go to Supplement Superstore and say, fellas, tell me some good non-stem pre-workouts, and then I was just going to pick one up. I think I'm down to like a couple scoops left. So if you
That
need help, they'll walk
Magnify
you
by
through it.
Carbon Fire is pretty good
Is
too.
that good? Does S2 have
Yeah.
that as well?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, perfect.
Cool. All
All right,
right.
brother.
Well,
Go
until
enjoy
next
your rubber
time.
mat.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna die of the next 3 days. Yeah. 13,000 pounds of flooring.
Gym's gonna look amazing.
Well, if you're bored this weekend, just let me know.
All right, perfect. We'll see how much
All right,
work
bro.
we get done today.
All right, broski. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Everybody else, have a good week.